Made it. Phew. It's July. It's still July, and we're doing the July garden video. For the first time in 3 months, we're actually out here on the actual month. Right, Frankie? Frankie's pretty excited about that. What's the matter, boy? What you want? What you want? I know you want corn. Yeah, we've already got corn for the pups. I've already had some corn. It's July. It's the high holy days of gardening, and it's a beautiful day, actually. A beautiful evening. It's like almost no humidity, and in the low 70s. Right now it's a little cloudy, but just gorgeous out here. Kind of atypical for July. But here are your chives, and they're doing fine. The blossoms are long since done for. They usually peak in May. Our water feature is looking fine. I had a little froggy in here before. I don't see him now, but it's doing okay. And here in bed 1, here's the brassicas. Now, you might notice that there's some small ones out there and some larger ones in here. That happens to be broccoli right there. That's Brussels sprouts and cabbage. Had problems with the brassicas in general, but I did have spare seedlings in the mini greenhouse there, and I was able to transplant those in here just recently, and now everybody's doing okay, so hopefully we're in good shape. But this in general is the summer squash patch. Boy, does that look nice. They are really happy right now. I hope they stay that way. Closest here is zucchini, and you know, we're at the point now in summer squash season where you pretty much have to pull them every night or else they get too big. I've got a pile of them inside as well of summer squash, and these are crooknecks here. You can see the number of them that are coming in, and very nice thick foliage. Here's a harvestable size right there, and I think I skipped over the scallop squash. I'll sneak around here to the other side and let's see if we can eyeball one of those. There you go. There's a little tiny one right there, and that's consumable size already for this other one right here. But right now they are looking healthy and nice. They're susceptible to all kinds of pests and kind of mildew and yucky stuff, so we'll see how they do, but so far they really like it there this year. Now these are pole beans, and I'm having mixed results, but I'm definitely not having a really fantastic pole bean year. You can see that there's some there and some blooms coming in, and I can't remember what kind this is. These are Marvel of Venice, so it's a flat potted. I hope you heard that. That's the burrows next door. Life is interesting around here. Maybe I'll get them in a video one of these times. New neighbors next door, and they own 2 burrows and multiple tiny horses and 1 big horse and oodles and oodles of dogs. These are Vortex green beans, and they've been coming in okay. But all of these green beans, they're just not growing foliage the way that I would hope them to do. I believe these are lima beans here, and they look okay, but no beans yet because they always come in later than limas do. We're getting a fair amount of beans, but they just look sort of anemic. Meanwhile, on the not looking anemic area, we have sweet potatoes. These are vining very nicely and looking very healthy, and you can see that they're creeping over into other parts of the bed, and that's what we like to see in the sweet potatoes. I didn't get a chance to put down my protective plastic coated chicken wire, so we might get some rodent damage this year, but the growth looks good anyway. And this was very overgrown even as of yesterday, the pet memorial area here, but I cleaned it out quite a bit, and now the little sleeping dachshund is there with her little rock favorite toy there. And we even have a nice little bloom on this rose plant that I've been struggling to keep alive because there's so much other growth going around. And that is a dachshund butt belonging to Frankie. And he's checking things out. He's sort of following me around as I do this. And as usual, I just sort of ramble on and on. This is Silver Queen corn, and all. It looks pretty healthy and all, but it's not really doing as well as it has in some years. I was a little late in getting it fed, and although it's tall, you can see it's a little bit kind of pale, and it's just not where it really probably should be at this time of year. But hopefully we will get some stuff out of it. Stuff like corn. Anyway, the rest of this bed, I have to admit, I just sort of gave up on. It used to be peas and beets and carrots and radishes, and everything just struggled so much. I just hay mulched everything and left this volunteer tomato coming up. This is the only pea plant that there is, if you can even see it. So I left that. I got a volunteer sunflower of some sort coming up, and another one here, and the rest of this is volunteer marigolds, and by volunteer I just mean they came up on their own from past marigold plants. So that's what this is, and Jesse's looking for corn. I'll give you some corn in a little bit, because I had some from the other beds. Wait till you see the other beds. Out here, this is bed 3, we got onions, and these onions, you can see, this is Alyssa Craig. Jesse, don't eat that. Don't get down. Don't eat that. Sorry about that. She wants to eat the corn stalks. If she can't find corn, she'll eat the corn stalks. Jesse, I had to scold you on YouTube for all the world to hear. Anyway. Back to onions. Those are Alyssa Craig. They're still coming in, and we got one volunteer, very healthy marigold coming in the middle, so I just let it go. This row kind of looks empty, but if you look carefully, you can see that there are onion stalks that have fallen over, which basically means they're done and they need to be harvested. I don't think this is the biggest crop of onions I've ever had, but I'll be pulling them shortly. Those are candy, and this is Red Zeppelin, which I've said before I pretty much bought just because of the name, but they turned out to be a pretty nice onion. They are also, you can see, falling over, which is the indicator that they are ready to be harvested. Now this is a volunteer potato that came up. I'm not sure what variety it is, but it came up on its own, meaning I missed a potato when I was harvesting or something like that. So we'll see how it does. The other potatoes, I continue to have a less than glorious potato season. You can see a lot of potato growth, but it's nowhere near where it's been in past years because of the early failures I had, and I just couldn't get some positions to grow at all. So I'm not expecting much out of them, but the ones that are growing are looking healthy and blooming, which means in a couple weeks there might be some new potatoes to pull. And that brings us to bed number 4, and leeks. And the leeks are, I mean, look at that guy. That's an amazing leek. They're probably ready to be pulled. I've pulled 1 or 2 early, purposely, and it looks like they're done, so I need to pull the rest of them. They're looking pretty good. I don't know what happened to my okra this year. You can see some sad pods on the end of those little sticks. They just didn't happen. Something happened with them. Meanwhile, kohlrabi, however, are doing just fine. Those are big by normal standards, except for that one, maybe. But these are a mammoth variety, so it's typical that they grow very big, and I can harvest them pretty much at any time. Now I've got some nice looking peppers, like this one right here, and it's coming in with some nice little peppers. I can't remember what variety this is, of course, and I don't see the label. I've also got some volunteer marigolds coming up here, but this is a nice looking plant. It's sort of compact in the wrinkly leaves, and this is another variety. It looks like there's only one surviving from this variety, and again, my apologies, I don't remember which variety is which. This row seems to be doing quite well, and this row is not doing too badly either. We have pulled some peppers, as you probably saw from the basket that I showed earlier, and tomatoes. We are having a very nice tomato season so far. Let me see if I can get in here, and you can see that nice red one. These are Juliets, our family favorite, and Frankie and Jesse both have been helping themselves to these Juliets. There's so much foliage, it's hard for me to get in there, but you get the idea. There's some nice red Juliets, and they're big Juliets. I mean, they're a small-sized tomato. They're sort of a bite-sized tomato, but these are just, they're doing fine, and they're, obviously overgrowing the cages, which is something we like to see. Now, speaking of I don't remember the varieties, I don't remember what variety of tomato this is, but it's a sort of a mid-sized tomato, and you can see we got nice clusters of them coming in. Some still green, some orange like that one, and others orange on their way to red like those. They're looking good, and in between, oh here we go, there's a man and his Juliet tomato. Good, huh, Frankie boy? Good boy, as long as you eat them, I don't care if you take them. These are ground cherries. This is the only ground cherry that I've managed to keep going. Frankie's been helping himself to those as well, which is also fine with me. I snack on them when I'm out here working usually. But that's the only one that's producing. And that brings us down to the last row of tomatoes. And yes, I don't remember what variety this is either, but they're coming in. And I have pulled a couple of these too, I think. But none of these plants are doing as well as the Juliets, which is that row there. They're just overspilling the boundaries. And then I've got all my extra tomatoes, which are in this bed, and they're coming in okay too. And I don't remember any of these varieties. What kind of gardener am I anyway? I don't even know what I'm growing. But they're doing okay, except for, they haven't got any cages, so it's hard to tell what we're going to get out of them unless I get some cages for them. And this is the saddest corn bed you've ever seen in your life. It's supposed to be an Indian corn. I don't know why they're so small and spindly looking, but they're also very low to the ground, so that the dogs, who kind of like corn, see these little spindly silks here, and they've, as on cue, they've just been tearing them up, and I've just sort of been letting them, because there's no way that those ears at that size at this time of year are going to turn into anything significant. So this is just a variety that didn't work. That's all there is to that. And the last bed here in the garden proper is technically vacant, but all the marigolds that we had growing here last year have sent up all these volunteers, so I'm using this also as a marigold nursery, so to speak. And what I'll probably do is take some of these and transplant them around different spots in the garden. And because they're healthy, they'll pout a little bit when I transplant them, but then they should do fine. But let's go out and take a look at the reason that I do like to grow corn. I know, Frankie, I'm coming back. Just a minute. And that's that. You know what? Here, come here. You want to come? I can't let you down, but here we go. All right. So, here I'm probably getting a very good view right now, but there's Frankie. Now he's not going to cry because he's out. He's out with the daddy in the garden. All right, so this is what I want to show you, however, and I can't really see what I'm shooting, but those stalks are getting into the 8 to 10 foot range, I would say right now. This is robust popcorn, and it grows like crazy. The way that I love to see corn grow. You can see I got to be careful. This electric fence is activated. You can see the silks from the cobs coming in, but they're just starting. But look at that. I mean, look down the rows and everything. It's just fun if you have the space to grow, a big variety of corn, a big plant variety of corn, I should say. And so this 2/3 is robust popcorn, and this 1/3, and I think it's pretty clear to see where one variety ends and the other one starts, right? All right, there. That's called sugar buns, and it's a sweet corn, and this is called robust popcorn. And boy, are they different or what in their growth pattern? Now, this is a sweet corn, and it's planted right next to popcorn, and I'm hoping that doesn't negatively affect the sweet corn. But you can see here, again, I'm trying to be careful by the electric fence. Those are ears that are just about ready to be pulled. The silks are dried. They look fairly full. I've pulled a few and consumed them, and they are delicious. It lives up to their name of sweet buns. And I did have some problems with varmints getting in there, and you can see how low some of these ears are. Varmints would get in, and it was easy for them to get to them. I kind of reinforced the chicken wire fencing. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see that there's chicken wire, fencing there. And I think maybe that's going to help, because I think they were just sort of getting over it in one corner here. But again, I'm rambling. The external corn bed is just magnificent, and many thanks again to my corn planting crew, family members that were here. I hope they are seeing this and can take pride in what their planting efforts have turned into. Because it's pretty... No, I can't let you down, boy. I can't let you down. He's thinking we're going to go looking for bunnies, but we're not going to go looking for bunnies. We're going to go back to the garden. Anyway, so that's the corn bed. Hang on, I got to get Frankie in here without dropping him. There we go. Okay, now I got to get me in here. Luckily, this electric fence hasn't been turned on for years, so seems to... the deer don't get in here. Anyway, and I've got a low fencing for the varmints, so yeah, I literally have not turned on this electric fence for years. and there hasn't really been a need for it, but golly, I think that does it. Marvin Gardens. That's right. Yes, Marvin Gardens. And this is July 2014. Got some nice flowers in the beds. Yeah, I mean in beds. In the hanging planters here. They're doing pretty well. And I'm going to show you, not this month, maybe next month, my whole irrigation system, which I'm quite proud of actually. And you'll see it's almost a Rube Goldberg kind of setup, but it works really well. And I'll see if I can just piece together a little video of that to put in the August video. But meanwhile, this is July 2014, Marvin Gardens, and we are done for the evening, and a delightful evening it is. We've been doing quite a bit of harvesting. I'm going to get the pups a little corn here, that corn that was already pre-damaged a little bit by the rodents out there that I was telling you about, and let them have a treat. And then I'm going to go in and probably stir fry some vegetables that you saw in the basket earlier, and have myself a nice summer meal. Uh-oh, we've got things that are going on that Frankie thinks are important, and Jesse's waiting to see. Do you think it's important too, Jesse? All right. Absolutely no one on YouTube is going to sit through this long video, so, but I'll enjoy it when I watch it. What's up, boy? Okay. I don't know what's got into me this month. Anyway, that's it. That's going to do it for Marvin Gardens 2014 July, and we're having a touch and go year here, but with a a nice layer of hay mulch down on the garden. It looks nice. I did massive weeding this weekend to compensate for what had been a fairly neglected garden, I have to admit myself. And once you get that mulch down and the weeds gone, it just makes the garden look like a kind of a showplace, and even though that corn bed out there is kind of pathetic, it's still a nice looking garden, so we ain't going to complain all that much. We will see you next month in August, the dog days of summer, and hopefully we'll be like at the peak of tomato harvest season. Maybe we'll be seeing some Silver Queen corn. That'd be nice. The popcorn will be coming in. Although the nice thing about popcorn is you just leave it. You don't have to worry about timing for the harvest. You just leave it until it's all dried out and done for. I don't know what I'm going to do with all this popcorn because I've still got lots of it from last year. But it's just fun to grow, and that's what gardening is all about. So, boy, am I rambling this month or what? That's going to do it, though. I will finally stop, let you go back to like doing something important, and we'll see you next month in August, okay? Bye, y'all. Say goodbye, boys and girls. Like Frankie. Good boy. You good boy, Frankie? He's a good boy, Frankie. Okay, goodbye, everybody. Yeah, corn. Our favorite time of year. Corn time. Listen to him. The boy. Corn and the cow.